Okay, this is episode number 2 in the series of the Racehorse versus the Plow Horse. Today is January 12th, 2022. It's approximately 20 minutes to 5 in the afternoon. I'm going to try to keep this right about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less. So the first series we were talking about, or I discussed the racehorse versus plow horse mentality. And the racehorse is the quick acting, quick responding, quick moving, and usually left at the end of the day completely lost as far as what was accomplished. The plow horse is more steady, more thorough, more complete, and more holistic. My life experiences have led me to clearly identifying these two categories, if you will, or these two spaces, to really understand the journey that I've been on from when I was little, as far back as I can remember, to how I can really bring that to light today in my mid-40s. So, perfect example. So the series of events that occurred in the last week, I'm trying to find creative ways to categorize those things in racehorse versus plow horse mentality to maybe help you think about what are you doing in your life that's acting that way or that's responding that way. The racehorse are things that are quick jerk, that are real fast, that happened and there's no thought. They're done swiftly, quickly, and the thought doesn't hit until after the fact. The plow horse, it's a little slower. There's a lot of thought. In some cases, it's enough thought to stall the process, to stall you into making decisions. So I had a call from a college kid. I'm not going to name his name, but he was struggling with something that you might find in your point in time in life. He was trying to figure out what he wanted to do. He'd been hurt, and he wasn't sure what he was going to do. He was going to school in one place. He was living in another. He didn't want to be in the place where he was going to school, and he wanted to be where he was living. He was completely leveled, lost, not sure where to start, not sure what to begin with. The only thing that I could tell him that I thought made the most sense in regards to racehorse versus plow horse was for him to look internally and find what it was that made him get out of bed every single day. For lack of better words, what does it take to man up? You know, everybody can look at that and be offended by it, or they can take issue with it. But the bottom line remains the same. If you are struggling with something that does not give you direction or purpose or focus or vision, then you need to man up. You need to reevaluate your life and ask yourself, okay, tomorrow when I get out of bed, what's going to pull me out of that sleep? What's going to get me motivated to get me moving? Some people it's reading the next chapter in a book. Some people it's work. Some people it's their hobbies. Some people it's family members. Some people it's going to vary depending on your certain situation. Now, the individual in question, he's a young kid, 18, going to be 19, not sure what to do, not sure how to start, where to go. He has an affliction or an interest in classic muscle cars. He has 2 that he's working on, but he's of the age where he's going to be challenged with funding that because he's at a young age. Plus, he's got some other things he's got to work on, getting a driver's license, a few things like that. And these are minor details, but it'll help bring the point home that if you are going to do these type of things, you need to find what motivates you to do them. For some people, it's money. Now, not the love of money. No, that's not it. That's considered one of the 7 deadly sins. Greed. You want to watch out for that. Now, we all need money to function. We all need money to survive. There's no secret there. But when it becomes an obsession and it takes over your life, that's a problem. So the question I had for him was, what's he going to do? What's he going to engage in? How's he going to motivate himself? And within a matter of an hour or 2 after the conversation I had, he started to show me some of the things that he was interested in and motivated by. Things like painting a guitar or studying this class or going after that. When it boils down to the simple thing and the very simple fact, whether you're a racehorse or a plow horse, you have to do it for you. Not for your family, not for your friends, not for society. You have to do what you think is right for you. Now, it's going to vary based on every individual, but it will also provide that level of clarity that a lot of people need. So if you're a college kid or you're a high school kid going to college and you're struggling to figure out what it is you're going to do, take a couple of minutes. Do what I like to do. Take a 5x5. So you take 5 minutes, take 5 steps back, and really step away from the situation. Really get real with yourself. because you have to understand and you have to accept there are several things that we're going to face as human beings in life. We are going to make mistakes. We are going to have errors. The first thing that needs to happen is you need to forgive yourself and realize that you are human and you will make mistakes. The other part that needs to be on your radar while you're thinking of this is a lot of people grow through those mistakes. Some of the most valuable errors and the most valuable lessons are the most painful. They hurt tremendously. I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever you want to call it. In some cases, could be physical. How many bodybuilders do you know or see that went into the gym thinking, I'm not going to get hurt today? Well, you know what? In order to become the next level greater, you have to physically hurt yourself. In other words, you have to tear muscle and rebuild it and make it bigger and make it stronger. You're not going to get there by just doing the minimums. You got to push yourself. So with me, what I've been doing over my tenure, if you will, I have focused on ways to take everything to the next level as much as I possibly can. And I've taken beatings for it, both physically and emotionally and mentally, big time. So when you do the things that I've done from college, thinking you were going to be an IT guru, to selling money, to selling shoes, to working within the energy industry, to working within the Department of Defense, and manufacturing, and everything in between, you add all that up, and yeah, you've got some experience to play from. I've got some experience to play from, which has taken a lot to get. Now, if you're just getting started in your career, you're just getting started with graduating from high school, you're going to run into that, where people are going to say, well, I'm not going to hire somebody without experience. That's true. But the piece that you need to offer and think about is if you're in the interview session, you have to realize that the person across from the table from you at the end of the day is a person like you and has been through similar situations. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the position that they're in. They've gone through similar experiences. Once you figure that out, and once you realize that they do things too, and they've had to grow too, and you go in there, even though you may not have a ton of experience, if you go in with an open, humble mind and a clear focus, that's going to net you more traction than if you went in cocky thinking you knew everything there was to know about it. The minute you go into a meeting with someone and you start acting like you know what the hell's going on when you really don't, if they're worth their salt at all, they're going to pick up on it and they're going to call you out. I would too. So we're at 8 minutes. I promised you we're going to keep them at 10-minute blurbs. We're going to keep them once a week. We got about a minute and a half left. What I want to know from you that are listening is, what do you do when you go in and sit down with someone you don't know? How do you break the ice? What do you talk about? Where do you start the discussion? What are your key points? Why do it? What's the driver? What's your internal push? What makes you the racehorse? What makes you the plow horse? Those are things to think about. Now, we don't want to get lost in thought. We don't want to get lost in the weeds. There's all kinds of things that come at us from every direction. We've got life happening at every angle all the time at really high rate of speed. That's normal. But at the end of the day, when you're shutting things down and you're getting ready to go to bed for the night, if you can look in the mirror and tell yourself you did everything you could today to stay on point, you did everything that you could today to be better for tomorrow, and then look back the next day and say, you know what, I need to be better today than I was yesterday. Where did I make the mistake? Where can I improve? How can I become sharper? How do I set myself up for a win-win? How do I set myself where I continue to sharpen my skills, sharpen my blades, make myself more crisp and more valuable for the next person that comes along? That's where the racehorse and the plow horse meet in the middle. Because if you can be the plow horse but still be a racehorse, that's where your value's in play. So we're coming up on 10 minutes. We're going to stop it there. Look for the next podcast. It's going to come out next week, hopefully on Monday. I don't know. I've got some work to do. But have a fantastic week. I look forward to the next session. Have a great day. Thanks a lot.